have a chat.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how long you can do a burnout for right here.
One time.
Rampage!
Did I ever tell you that I hate when companies name cars just a bunch of letters and numbers? The Outlaw Rampage. Outlaw Rampage. That's a real name. Now let's take it out and see what it can do besides a burnout.
No burning.
You have to pick one, either an Outlaw or a Rampage. It's kind of confusing since this truck wants to be a desert racer and it also wants to be some sort of scale crawler. But it's two-wheel drive. So it's handicapped to start. And as you can see, the tires, we're going to blame the tires a lot in this because we kind of think they failed on the tires in this one. They're super hard, but two-wheel drive, going up a cliff, doesn't really work that well. But the chassis, let's get to the good stuff. If we were betting men, we would have thought that an Ultima would have been under this, just their two-wheel drive stadium truck. But Kyosho went out of the way to make something special, for them actually, because it's a rear-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, solid axle, independent front suspension trail truck. Well, it's kind of strange. They don't do RTRs that often, but in this case they did, and it's actually pretty cool looking. And for about $250 you get a complete RTR, minus 4 AAs. Why wouldn't you include 4 AAs to make it a real RTR? We don't know. But good job, Kyosho. I tell you, this isn't a crawler. It's a desert runner, a pre-runner. Two-wheel drive does not go up steep inclines and have any grip, because once you lose grip, you can see that they actually included a diff in this, which doesn't see, it's a little bit confusing still. Why would you put a diff in something that's meant to go crawling? It just diffs out. Transmission-wise, it's a lay-down transmission, plastic gears. Again, it's not a solid lock differential, but you can lock it. Front suspension is independent. You get oil-filled plastic shocks with threaded bodies. It's kind of nice. And then underneath, you can see it's a special chassis where the battery fits in with the little lock is a little bit too small for our fingers. But hey, some people have small fingers. The rear suspension, you can see it's on the outer link location. You can move it in and get it a little softer and a little more twist in the rear end. Cool design in there. We're really impressed with the overall features of the truck. Tires, we don't like.
Rampage!
I like the big dummy said, it's time to rampage. It's the rampage part of the Outlaw Rampage. We're going desert running. We think what this truck was kind of designed for. The flaw, again, is those tires. They're so hard. We couldn't believe the lack of grip. Our chase truck was four-wheel drive. Didn't have a problem. Does it look like it goes fast? Of course, because we're going quarter throttle and trying to go straight. Carl isn't wiggling and trying to lose me like the Dukes of Hazzard, you know, losing Boss Hog behind him. He's having a little trouble going straight. This is one that active vehicle control, or whatever company calls whatever their gyro that they have in the car, would actually really help out, because the lack of grip just really was almost infuriating. You couldn't go straight for more than 2 minutes. And if we put more power in, because we cheated and put a 3S in eventually, it was even worse, so we weren't too smart. But if you look at the video, it's actually pretty cool looking. The body is pretty scale, especially for Kyosho, who's kind of, everybody's getting into scale. The one thing we don't like about the body is, you can see this while we're following the car the whole time, the body mounts are at the back of the cab. And that means the back of the body is just a big Lexan drum that if we turned up the volume, even with the sound of the gears in the car behind it, it's just constantly sounding like a rattle. So, you know, bodies are all optional. We can switch them out, or you can change where the mounting is. It would definitely improve the sound if those body mounts were farther back in the chassis, or on the body actually. But overall, looking at the truck, it's actually a fun truck. We are going to do an update on this truck and replace it with real tires, because it's really unfair that we really want to hammer this truck because it didn't even go straight on any of the intended surfaces. But it's clear that the tires just didn't have any grip whatsoever. Kyosho even retuned the suspension before we went out because they didn't like the axle hop. The axle hop is cool. That's what rear solid axle trucks do. They don't soak up bumps, they bounce around. Don't try to change that. Fix the grip so when the tires are on the ground, it wants to go straight.
Rampage!
It's all about the rampage. Keep rampaging. In the end, we just love to do donuts. So Kyosho Rampage, Outlaw Rampage, not just a rampage, it's an outlaw rampage, so it's 2 names. Full review in VRC, issue number 30. We're on 30, we're old now. Download it as soon as it comes out. Subscribe, get 29 back issues. You almost get 30,000 pages of RC for $10. So check it out. Do some donuts with us.